Grant, I was on, I had many issues come up. Lot, a lot of issues, unexpectedly. But I'm here with the number 40 truck that's driven by Falcon. He took another win at Pocono. Shocking. Grant, there was a battle for it. So, Falcon, what was your strategy going through that race? Grant, you had quite a battle with Krieg. Run me through that.
Um, Same strategy as it was last race at Pocono. Tried to stretch the field out, tried to get the distance out on him. Um, Creek was keeping up with me until um, probably about 5 or so laps to go, and then I started to pull away. I don't know if his tires were wearing out, but he gave me a great challenge, and I absolutely appreciate that from him. Um, Truck was a little off balance. It wasn't too bad, but it was good enough. Um, that's all I can really say about it.
I noticed in the last, not the last couple laps, the few laps before it even came down to the last two, Harvick was up there giving you Greek, and you look quite a challenge for the lead.
Yeah, he was doing a pretty good job. Just to be there at the end to you know try to steal one away is an awesome feeling. Um, it was fantastic to see him up there, and you know, as a driver, he's becoming better and better and better, and eventually he's gonna sneak one away, and I look forward to seeing that.
He also tried doing that tonight.
Yeah, yeah, which is really surprising. I never thought he would be that good at Michigan. Had a little trouble with the 10 car blocking me and chopping me off, and it I was running in the top five, and he basically screwed me out of a win. And I hate to talk about somebody like that, and you know, but racing's racing. You know,
Right.
it's beating, banging, close quarters racing,
Mm-hmm.
and that's fine. But when it comes to the short tracks, I got a receipt for him. It's coming. I'll remember that next time. But he's a good racer. I liked racing with him. We were touching doors and racing each other clean. And once you chop off somebody's nose so many times and force them down below the white and yellow lines and almost to the grass, then it becomes a problem. And I don't like racing people like that. Try to chop them off, but it's not a super speedway. It's definitely not a super speedway, but it's cool. We'll
Mm-hmm.
move on. We'll see how bad it gets, and if it gets any worse, then I'm gonna let the people of hire handle that situation and just kind of take my time with it.
Well, next week for a truckster at Kentucky Motor Speedway. Any plans on taking that race too?
Um, we'll have to see. Honestly, um, I think I got a bit of a setup plan as far as Kentucky and Kansas being almost identical. Um, I would like to run the top side at Kentucky to see what the truck has. That bottom side is just almost too flat. It's just way too flat. And to be in the middle or the outside groove at Kentucky is probably going to be the best option for anybody.
Well, the way Kentucky works is normally the top groove that goes, or is the bottom groove. It also all depends how the tire wear is.
Kentucky is one of those abrasive kind of tracks. Likes to eat the rubber very, very quickly, kind of like Atlanta. It'll chew through tires. It'll get so bad to where that you would have to come in. You'll have to come in, and once you figure out to where how to let in and out of the corners and focus on how loose or how tight you want the truck, you know, at the end of the run is going to be the difference maker. Because if you got it too loose, then you're going to eat that right rear tire to shreds, and if you're too tight, you're going to eat the right front. So you got to find that balance to where it's going to be perfect.
Now, Cup, you're racing Cup tomorrow, the All Star race, which they don't know what time they're starting. The votes are up. They're voting on it. Right now, there's 2 votes for 8 o'clock, one for 10 o'clock. And the way it looks, they don't want it at Charlotte. They want it at Dega, the super speedway. Now, they don't know if they're going to do extra points or anything. It's going to look kind of tough because Donkey is a great speedway driver. He knows how to run speedways. What's your strategy going into that race?
Into Talladega is a complete wild card. Um, I love that joint because of um, the excitement that it's going to bring, um, how close the race is going to be. Who's going to make the moves? Who's going to calculate and be the smart guy? Because if anybody watches racing, you don't want to be in first. You want to be the guy that's being behind, like this year at Talladega, how Denny Hamlin won the race. He was in sixth, seventh place by the time the last couple laps came around. So to be in a position in the catbird seat, to make the big move is going to be interesting. How where your friends are going to be, who's going to push you, and you know where the which lane's going to move. It's going to be the outside or the inside. Everybody's going to take that inside lane. The question is, who's going to go to the outside and go? Because once it comes down to 5 to go, it's game on. It's Talladega. I mean, a win in the All-Star race, a bragging rights for a year. It might not be for $1 million. I wish it was. It'd be fantastic. But, beggars can't be choosers. But it is Talladega. You got to, mind your P's and Q's until that last 5 laps. And whatever happens really happens. You just expect the unexpected when it
Yeah,
comes to
look at Harvick's first coming into the Cup season. He was behind Donkey at Daytona, and he just pulled out the right time and took it from him.
And that's what I'm talking about. To get to the point of the race where you feel like it's time to go, but you have no friends and you go to the back, you still got a chance. It depends on how everybody in front of you is going to act. How, just trying to figure out what moves everybody's going to make. Because it's hard to predict at Talladega. It really is.
Now, I noticed earlier before qualifying that Harvick and Burns actually had words exchanged in the garage area. Do you have any words for that?
Honestly, to any drivers that's gonna have, communication issues or any kind of issues, you need to settle it on the racetrack. You need to beat your rival, and if you can beat him week in and week out, that just proves, you may say words that might not mean nothing, but if you go out there and consistently prove it to people and back what you say up, then people are going to respect you, and ultimately, you become a better driver. But in a sense of words, people shouldn't be mean to other people. That's my point of view on it. I've been racing for a long time. I've been in leagues and won races, and my point is that everybody just needs to get along. Um, to have camaraderie and friendship. Yeah, it's always good to have that rival. It's always good to you know that person make you better because you want to beat them. You just want to beat them. It doesn't matter if you're running in first or, last. As long as you beat them, what you said in the garage area, that just gives you more power to do better.
What you just said was very true. Everything should be left out on the track. Leave it out on the track. Whatever you bring on the track stays on the track. But everything you just said was very, very true. You see in real
You
racing, basically drivers just leaving it on leaving it on the track. Look at the Truck Series this weekend. How the 99 went into pits complaining about, oh god, I can't even think of I think it's KBM, how they were racing.
hmm
Tonight we didn't see any of that from Harvick or Burns.
No, because y'all squashed it. And that's always a good thing. When people squash something and it's like, okay, we can race. Be Have that common courtesy to see your rival, race him like he would race you. You race him dirty, he's going to race you dirty. You know, like me and Tony Stewart. You know, yeah, I may have raced him a little dirty. I didn't constantly cut his nose off. I gave him room. If he was to the inside of me or to the outside of me, I gave him room. But if you're constantly cutting somebody's nose off and forcing them, onto the apron, then there's a problem. But you've got to be consistent. You know, top fives, top tens. That's going to help you get to the playoffs. And you can't sit here and move and be a better driver if your rival is not going to push you to be that better driver. So yeah, there may be some incidents or run-ins, but you try to take care of it. You don't try to get someone upset or their feelings hurt, because nowadays, I mean, it's 2020. everybody's going to get their feelings hurt. Just wise up, race your race because it's a long race. Anything anything could happen. That's why I'm so excited for this Talladega race tomorrow night, from what it's looking like. And I'm excited because, like I said, it's Talladega. You don't know what's going to happen because you could be in the back of the field and coming to the white flag. You could be the leader. Anything can happen. That's what I look forward to.
Well, see what happens tomorrow night. The way it looks for now, it may start at 8 o'clock. Right now it's 6 to 3. No, 5 to 3. So it's going to be tight. Hopefully it starts at 10 o'clock because Harvick is working that tomorrow night. He wants to be at the race. Hopefully he's there to give Donkey a challenge for it again.
Throw me into the mix. I would love to get Donkey a run for his money in this number 7 Hooters Ford Mustang, honoring the late great Alan Kawicki, the '92 Winston Cup champion. Um, I hope this, you know, Underbird. I know it's a Mustang, but I'm gonna call it an Underbird for throwback reasons. Can get me to the front. I think it's kind of cool. We're having a little Darlington throwback All Star race kind of deal, um, and I'm excited for Talladega. No telling what's going to happen, who's going to win. Gonna have to wait and see. But I'd like to thank my sponsors, Plan B Sales.com, for sponsoring the number 40 truck. Nice Motorsports, those guys are awesome. Chevrolet and their Chevrolet Power, absolutely amazing. Twix, Mars, the guys over at the number 54 camp for JGR, and the guys over at the 6-time champion Scott Dixon's team over at Chip Ganassi, like I said. Those guys on the 42 Credit One Chevrolet with that Hendrick Motorsports power, absolutely amazing. So look forward to racing again with this kind of a weird uh, Ford Ford Mustang driving Hooters. Um, Absolutely love this car. It's absolutely beautiful. Um, so I look forward to it. Very much
Well,
look forward to it.
the way it looks, everyone wants Donkey to bring out the Rainbow Warrior car to Dega. Boy, wouldn't that be a show to see? Put
Well,
the put the Rainbow Warrior car in victory lane at Dega once again.
Well, Jeff Gordon being, Dale Senior's protege as far as the Talladega, the Talladega Master, um, it'll be kind of special because I am a Jeff Gordon fan. I've always been a Jeff Gordon fan. Ever since I can, watched racing since I was a little bitty thing. I remember in great detail that Jeff Gordon rainbow car. And to see, Exalta on the side of the car and know that it's still DuPont, even though DuPont changed their name, it's kind of exciting to see, the Rainbow Warriors um, back in action. I look forward to seeing that.
Now, I don't know if you know the driver that Harvick has his paint scheme for tomorrow night's race. He's driving the 28 that was drove by
The great Davey Allison.
yup. He's bringing that paint scheme into tomorrow's race, hopefully putting it in the victory lane. So
I think it'd be kind of cool to see that Davy Allison tribute at Talladega. I would love to see the uh, Haviland Ford and the number 7 Hooters car up there together. To recreate what happened in '92, coming down to the last couple races in the season for that championship, and Davey ends up losing that championship because of a wreck. Um, those guys at Robert Yates Racing done a great job that season, and you never know if that wouldn't have happened to Davey, what happened to him, he would have been a champion.
yeah, Davey. That was pretty sad that day after losing a most good driver in a helicopter crash. That was pretty sad. Grant, I was probably like not even thought of yet, but it's pretty sad after losing a driver like him. Earnhardt was a legend driver, so
Yeah, and that's what, back to my point. Drivers shouldn't argue, or you know shouldn't be mean to each other, because you never know. You just never know.
just on the throwback cars, it's very hard finding good throwback paint scheme just to get on the car that fits it good. Don't you think they should have brought the paint booth back to NASCAR like in
Oh yeah, most definitely. The paint booth in 14 and NASCAR 15 was absolutely fantastic. Um, there was, you could just paint a car to whatever you wanted. If you wanted to do Dale Senior's Bass Pro car, which I done, it was so time consuming, but it was so worth it.
hell
Absolutely so
you
worth
could
it.
go on Google and search up like say if you want to bring Harvick's old sponsor back Reese's, you could make that car with no problem.
Or you could do a reverse Earnhardt with Kevin Harvick instead of the
Exactly.
white, blue, and red. It could have been that classic Intimidator look, but with the 29. That
Right.
would be kind of cool for a throwback. But just just the fact that uh, so many great drivers have come through the sport, um, and so many legends, Jimmy Johnson and those guys, Hall of Famers. Um, the paint schemes are iconic. It doesn't matter what era you pick, there's always a car that stands out. Like in the 90s, it was Gordon, it was Earnhardt, even though Earnhardt's been running that same paint scheme. I mean, granted, there was, the 96 red, white, and blue car for the Olympic Games being down in Georgia, or the Bass Pro car, or the Wheaties car, you know, but it was always that black, red, and silver. Or, like I said, Gordon with the rainbow car, or Mark Martin with Valvoline, or Dale Jarrett with Ford Quality Care. Those cars were, a symbol to people's childhoods. And just to see an old car come back to life, that's why I'm looking forward to maybe seeing, William Byron bring back T Rex. That would be incredible. William Byron wins the All Star race because of T Rex. Maybe there's another band. I don't know. Just like I said, to see old cars get brought back to life, it makes the throwback weekend so incredible, and for Darlington to get a second date again for next year is absolutely amazing. It's finally time Darlington gets back on the map. It should have stayed on the map as far as having two races. NASCAR shouldn't have changed it. I understand, different market values and all this stuff, but we got such amazing tracks coming up next season with Coda and Nashville coming back. The fairgrounds is talking about coming back. The city of Memphis, the Indy cars are going to run the street course over there. Uh, Road America, the road course in Indianapolis. There's such great tracks that you don't always have to turn left and right. You can go back to NASCAR's roots just by running at short tracks, running at dirt tracks, and I'm excited. I've got to get tickets to go see the Bristol Dirt Race. I've never seen a NASCAR Cup car on dirt on 36 degrees of banking. That's kind of mental to think about, a 3,600 pound stock car going sideways on 36 degrees of banking. That sounds like, somebody lost a couple screws and nuts and bolts, just lost all their mental capacity. Like, what happened? I'd like to see him run on like Eldora, or maybe come over here to North Carolina and run uh, Bowman Gray like they used to do. NASCAR used to race over here. Like, this is North Carolina is the state that NASCAR cre- created NASCAR. If it wasn't for the guys like Junior Johnson, and we wouldn't have a throwback weekend. We wouldn't have NASCAR. We wouldn't have a lot of things.
Hell,
And
look in NASCAR Inside the Lines, NASCAR 15. Everyone basically went and like what I seen in that online. Everyone mostly went back and did a Days of Thunder car where it was Cole Trickle, and I couldn't remember the other one. I know it was Cole Trickle was one of them.
yeah,
Then they also did the number 3 car, like you said, the number 3. They are there was some where they went back and did Jimmy Johnson's first paint scheme when he first came up into racing.
yeah, the Alltel car.
Mhm.
Nobody knows he drove, the '92 Alltel car. And like I said, if Jeff Gordon didn't bring Jimmy Johnson into the Cup Series, Jeff Gordon would be a 7-time or probably 8-time champion with, over 100 wins. Easy, you know? But to change history and to have not only one 7-time champ, not just two, but to have three, and 3 sevens is lucky, just to win, 7 championships, to be mentioned as the GOAT. Jimmy Johnson might be tied with Kel Yarborough as far as wins goes. I see, the 5 championship streak. I see that as kind of, sketchy. You know, there's a lot of manipulation endless sport, and I'm not calling Jimmy Johnson a cheater. I'm not, saying any of that. But there was some tampering going on, and to expect out of the Cup Series crew chief, hey, let's see, what we can get away with. I mean, even Ray Evernham said it when, um, if you've seen the special on Fox about how Jeff Gordon won the 97 500 with Labonte and Craven behind him, it's kind of unique just to think, how much they manipulated that car to win, you know, to a full NASCAR into thinking, okay, the car's right, they're in specs, but see, if you rolled that 97 winning car up on NASCAR's new technology, it would have failed. It would have automatically failed.
Now, I just went to Harvick's car for tomorrow night's race for the throwback race, and it
Yeah.
almost quite looks like the original car, but just the sponsors, it's just tough because there ain't they need to add more sponsors to the game. But if you look at Harvick's car for tomorrow night's race, it's right on point. The lines are exactly right. The number, the line around the number, it's just right on point. But hopefully it's there tomorrow night. Hopefully it starts at 10 o'clock. See what
Um.
happens.
Can I critique you on something
Go right
if you
ahead.
don't mind? Uh, I like the white. Definitely that old school paint scheme. Go with a silver. Let's see what it looks like in a silver.
I'll definitely mention that to Harvick later on when I see him. But I know the original
But I
car.
mean, I'm not doubting your. I'm
I
not
know the
putting down your
original
paint
car
scheme.
was.
It's
I know the original
absolutely
car
beautiful.
was white, but
Yes, it was. Um, definitely. I would try the silver. If you don't like the silver, go back to the white. I mean, he ran, you know, multiple different paint schemes, and that was his 80, I think 87, 88, and 89 car before he changed it to that all black
well,
Texaco
technically
Havoc
it was
colors.
very hard to find a paint scheme because you had the white. It was mostly the white or the black paint scheme that I found.
Yeah, and that's hard, really hard to duplicate that car because it's so special to so many people, and it's just it's a beautiful car. It's absolutely beautiful. I would look and see what you think with with the silver. What Harvick thinks with the silver. Give honest opinions to him. But I love the car. I'm looking at it right now. It's absolutely beautiful. Honestly, would I change it? I would look at the silver. Maybe. Because that silver would just go good with that gold. Silver, black, and gold red car. It just it screams at you.
Mhm.
But that white is very very subtle, and it brings out the gold and the black and the red, and it's either decision. It's gonna be a beautiful car, absolutely beautiful.
Hell, it won't be a car to miss on the track.
Oh no, God no, not at all.
Definitely at the end, it will definitely be a race. Now, seeing your car versus Harvick's car down to the finish, bringing that back, that will be quite a race at the end.
Yeah, For sure.
Giving the fans seen that throwback, the fans get seen that going back, that'll be a talk and a half.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would. And to see that car, win the All Star race at Talladega would be kind of cool, especially if that number 7 Ford Mustang's sitting there helping you, you know, going to the front.
Well, that's what I all have to say.